How much money would it take for your parents to let you continue playing video games? Does $6 million sound good enough? Today we're going to dive into some of the biggest contracts in esports, and to be honest, with the current landscape, it can be really hard to determine exactly what these players make for a variety of different reasons. But these are not confirmed figures, and it's fun to speculate and listen to some rumors. So all figures are going to be represented in US dollars because that's what we know best. We're going to start in League of Legends because that's the most relevant esport within the last decade, probably more than that. And no surprise here, Faker takes the crown, not just World Championships, but also the highest paid player in history. His newest contract that he just signed with T1 is rumored to be worth over $6 million, which is absolutely insane. But like I said, he is the GOAT, probably of all these sports. He's got 6 World Championships, so I guess a mil for every championship makes pretty good sense. Second on the list, we're going to have Viper. He's an ADC who's bounced between the LPL and the LCK a couple different times now. We're going to talk about his last contract because he did just sign a new one with BLG. But we're going to talk about his contract at HLE. It was rumored to be worth right at $4.1 million per year. Pretty crazy. Viper's a great player. He does have 1 World Championship under his belt with EDG back in 2020, I believe. But it's kind of crazy to think, like, if he's got 1 World Championship and he's making $4.1 million, what's his actual ceiling? What if he continues winning like Faker or something? Will we see him paid like $10 million at one point? Who knows? And now we're going to look at number 3, the highest paid Western League of Legends player of all time. It's Jensen, the mid laner who went from C9 to Liquid, back to C9, to Dignitas to FlyQuest. We're actually going to talk about his late 2020 signing with Liquid. It was a 3-year contract, worth $4.2 million or $1.4 million per year. It's pretty crazy to think about that figure when you think about what players are paid nowadays. But I mean, Jensen was a legend of the scene back then, and he still is. He has retired, but he still has our hearts. Now we're going to look at the FPS giant Counter-Strike, where the model for competition is different, but the top players are still getting paid. The difference is because, unlike League, CS2 is a non-franchised esport, which traditionally equals lower salaries for players. But to completely go against that, at number 1, we have Simple, whose loan contract with the Falcons rumored to be worth $500,000 a month. He only stayed there for 2 months, so he made like $1 million. But if he would have stayed for a full year, that would have been worth $6 million, putting him equal to Faker, the League of Legends GOAT. And number 2, we have Zywoo, who in early March 2024 signed a new contract with Vitality. That contract is rumored to be worth around $100,000 per month or $1.2 million per year. At the time he signed the contract, he was actually the highest paid player in the world. He has since been back overtaken by Simple, but either way, he's one of the GOATs, so worth every penny. Number 3, we have Nico, the longtime rifler. He's been a legend of the scene. He went from FaZe, he's been on G2. Now he's at Team Falcons in 2025. In January, he signed a new contract. We know the Falcons like to pay their players $1.14 million per year for the rifler. He's living a good life. Hopefully he can bring his talent and also some titles to the Team Falcons as he's on a new team. Now getting away from the keyboard and mouse to focus on the controller warriors of the world, let's look at some of the Call of Duty contracts that are out there. We can't start anywhere else but the king, Optic Scumpy. It was rumored at the height of his career he was taking home around $100,000 a month from Optic Gaming. That puts him at around $1.2 million per year from Optic. A great player, probably the GOAT of COD, but who knows, that's up for you to decide. Second, we're going to look at Celium, a legend for FaZe. If you've missed it, this offseason he signed a new contract. He's joined Team Falcons. We've already talked about it before in this episode. They love to pay their players. Apparently, Celium's taken home around $700,000 per year from the Saudi org. He's got the talent. Maybe he can bring some titles. And next, we're going to talk about his teammate, but it's actually his last contract that he signed. We're going to be talking about Pred, the Aussie gunner. He signed with Optic Gaming in June of 2023. He signed from Seattle Surge. It was a massive pay increase for the guy. His pay for that year on that contract was around $480,000 for that season. To wrap up the video, we're going to rapid fire a couple of the largest earners from a few other esports that we're familiar with. First, from Dota 2, we have Ame. In his last year with LGD, the Chinese star was reportedly pulling in around a total salary of $680,000 from the Chinese org. Next, we have Aspas, largely considered by a good bit of the player base as the GOAT of Valorant. So it makes complete sense why his contract with Loud Esports was rumored to be paying him around $480,000 per year, the highest paid Valorant player of recorded history. Switching up to Rocket League now, we have First Killer, who during his time with the Ultimates was pulling in around $220,000 per year. And last but not least, we wanted to show some love for our fighting game community. Arslan Ash, the Tekken legend, is rumored to be getting paid on his current contract around $160,000 per year. Honestly, I wish things were more transparent in the esports landscape, and I wish we could easily access player salaries just like regular sports. And to be honest, I think that's an important step for our industry in terms of the sustainability of the competition and just the overall fairness. And I hope that that day comes sooner rather than later. That's it for today's story time, and I hope this has answered some of your questions about player contracts and maybe what some of your favorite players earn. As always, subscribe to the Global Gaming Network for more esports content. We'll see you next time.